And the simple man used to always run, coming to the clever man with joy, with happiness, but he always found him in affliction and full of suffering. And he asked him, "Such a wise person and such a wealthy person as you, why do you always have anguish? Why am I constantly happy?" For the clever man, this was a mockery, and he seemed crazy to him. And the simple man said to him, "Even plain people, when they make fun of me, are fools as well. For if they are already smarter than me, then they are first fools themselves. All the more so, such a clever person as you are. So what if you are smarter than me?" The simple man proclaimed and said to the clever man, "If only the Supreme One would grant that you should come up to my level, in other words, that you should also be a simple person." The clever man replied, "It could happen that I should reach your level, if God would take away my intellect, heaven forbid. Or if I, heaven forbid, should become sick, it could happen that I should also become insane. For what are you, anyway, but a madman? If only you could come up to my level. This is by no means possible, that you should be such a clever person as I." The simple man answered, "With Hashem Yisbarach, everything is possible. It can happen like the wink of an eye, that I should arrive at your smartness." The clever man ridiculed him a great deal. Now, these two sons, the public would call them clever and simple. They called this one clever, and they called that one simple. Even though there are many clever people and simple people on earth, still, here it was very apparent because they were both from one town and had studied in one schoolroom. And this one became quite an extraordinarily clever person. That one became quite an extremely simple person. Consequently, they gave them the nicknames the clever man and the simple man. Now, in the registry, in the book listing the residents, everyone is written down with all their family names. So they wrote down, after this one, the nickname Clever Man, and after that one, Simple Man. One time, the king came by the registry, and he found the two as they were recorded. This one with the name Clever Man, and that one with the name Simple Man. This was a wonder to the king, that the two have such nicknames, Clever Man and Simple Man. The king very much wanted to see them. The king decided, if I suddenly send for them to come before me, they will be frightened, and the clever man won't know at all what to reply, and the simple man might go crazy from fear. The king decided to send a clever man to the clever man, and a simple man to the simple man. But where does one get a simple man in a royal city? For in a royal city, the town where the king lives, the majority are smart people. However, the one who is a warden over the treasuries, he is specifically a simple person, because one doesn't want to make a clever person any sort of warden over the treasuries, for perhaps through his cleverness and his intellect he will embezzle the treasuries. Therefore, one specifically puts a simple person in charge of the treasuries. So the king summoned a clever man and the simple man, who was a warden over the treasuries, and sent them to the two, clever man and the simple man. And he gave each one a different letter. And he gave them an additional letter to the governor of the province, whom the two, that is, the clever man and the simple man, were under. And the king commanded in the letter that the governor should send letters on his behalf to the clever man and the simple man, so that they shouldn't be frightened, and he should write to them that the matter is not necessary, and the king is not specifically decreeing that they should come, but rather the choice is theirs. If they want to, they should come, but the king does want to see them. The emissaries traveled off, the clever one and the simple one, and came to the governor and delivered the letter to him. The governor inquired after the two children, and they told him that the clever man is an extraordinary clever person and quite a wealthy man, and the simple man is quite a very simple person and has every kind of garment from the pelts, as mentioned before. The governor decided that it is certainly not proper to bring him before the king dressed in the pelts, so he made for him appropriate clothes and placed them in the simple man's carriage, and he gave them the letters as mentioned.